What's going on? Happy New Year's Eve. Three of us have already celebrated New Year's. One of us will be celebrating a New Year's again, but we'll see how long we all stay on here. We had a little questionnaire. The boys wanted to do this, and then also a lot of you in the chat, hopefully you're there, wanted to do it too because you asked for it. So we're gonna give you a live show, New Year's Eve. I think this might be the last time I do New Year's Eve and Christmas Day live shows. It was a rough year this year for that, but
I mean,
thank you for
for 7 years. So if you're still doing this in 7 years, you need to think about what's going on with your life.
This is like my 4th year. I was not planning on doing this for over one. For those people that do not know, back in the day, literally, old channel asked me on because they were a shit show and like, hey, dude, but you know comics, can you help us? Like, and I said, yeah, sure. So I started helping, and it was COVID. I didn't have anything else to do, so then I started running a couple shows, and they did pretty well. And then I did this show, and it did terrible. It was taped. It was horrible. You should go back and try to watch those. They're still on the internet because the guy, I don't know. I really don't want to fight over it, but he also won't take it down because, I mean, he creates shit content, so he's got no viewership. But yeah, so we did that for a while, and I was like, hey, as soon as everything opens up, I'm going back to it. And now it's been open for 2 more years, and I've still been doing this nonsense. So I don't know. We'll see. Hey, Ruben. Ruben, are you working today? I hope he's not working. Let's say hi to the chat real quickly. Tommy's first in 2024. Let's go. Peace. Cheers. Cheers. GTK Comics. Celebration. Party favors. Hi. Thumbs up. Thank you, GTK Comics. Ruben, Happy New Year, all. I'll try to watch on and off tonight. Bye. I'm sure
he's working. I'm sure everybody he's probably working tonight. Tonight's like,
oh yeah. So for those people that don't know, we have a very big service following. Like a lot of our hardcores that are either here on Renovision or follow us have one part or another of protecting you, or if like taking care of you. Let's put it that way. So
there's a lot of stupid people out there tonight, and so Ruben's gonna be busy.
Ruben's going to be busy. Dom's going to be busy. A couple other people are going to be busy. We're not going to try to tell everybody what everybody's jobs is out there, but there's a lot of people out there. By the way, please, dude, hopefully you don't run into Ruben, and hopefully you don't cause any problems with Dom, or mainly anybody you see in the chat, because it's not good if you have to see him on a day like today. So, all right, Vader Prime, I am sending the message back to you all in 2023. Hello, best wishes for the future. Nothing changes. Peace, cheers. I don't know where he's from, but apparently they've already had New Year. So congratulations. One of our over the seas people or whatever. Saying hi for the algorithm. Thank you, Ed. Happy New Year's, Darksider, Wookiee Fanatic. Great. Eric, hi. Sorry, Eric, dude. I watched that game the other day. I'm sorry, my man, bro. Really am. Should have went better. It ain't funny, dude. That's a tough one. Hope you have a good New Year's, though, Eric.
It was a tough one.
Yeah. E2 Comic Collector. Where is Peter? Peter is sleeping off of whatever happened last night. I left early. See, I was smart. It gets trouble. The night before, I was not so smart, but that night I knew if they turn the lights on in the club, it is time to go. And I left last night. So.
Yeah, so true.
Night you were not smart.
What was that?
Friday night you were not smart.
Oh yeah, did you see the video? Oh, I put that in the regular chat. Yeah, oh yeah, that was odd. Maybe we'll do it if we got a couple extra minutes. Wife wanted to come down and do the show too today, but I said maybe not. But yeah, I mean, she was there. It was me. The problem with that was, oh man, you got me saying everybody. The problem with it was like an old crew, and we all just decided to show up, and we by far were old, and these young kids nowadays, they're wild.
That's not these days. That's how you were. That's how kids are.
No, but we were different. Wow, we were looking for trouble. These kids nowadays say some shit, and then they're like, "Oh no, boss, no."
Yeah, these kids have phones everywhere.
These kids throw smoke all over the place, and then you're like, and they're like, nope. No, you know what? I figured it out. Hold on. It's because they see the stuff on the YouTubes, and on the YouTubes they don't see the repercussions.
Right. Well, it's also because people tend to hide behind devices these days. They never had to take it to the street like we did younger, you know?
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, Marco, if there was phones around when you were in there, you would be in a lot more trouble than you are now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I got in a lot of trouble.
Right? Oh, yes.
Dude, Bobby,
Trust me.
hey, that video was me standing on a table in the bar. You know, like if you look at that angle, I'm on the bar, like just taking pictures of those things. All right, Comic One, start getting good with Wayseeker sign up.
Thanks.
Happy New Year's, Spider Guy Murphy. Yeah, he does. Yeah, it's good. JJ's good too. We gotta get JJ back. We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
Murph, what's up? Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's. It's going to be a little bit more free flowing. We do have some scheduled content too, but if you guys want to say something or have any questions too, feel free. You know, it's a holiday one. So happy New Year's, guys.
Holiday show.
Dom's going to be, oh my God. Yeah. Dom, he's getting paid a lot, but he should not be out there today.
I mean, let's be clear. Like the kids can run faster than Dom. We've seen the videos, so like, you know.
No, not everybody's seen it. Don't say it. Not everybody's seen it.
We've seen
they don't run faster. They're slippery. They're slippery. Hello, Jeffrey Drake. Oh my God, that kid. I mean, that's once again what I'm saying. Like all these people are saying things. It has nothing to do with anything, but these kids nowadays have seen stuff on the TikToks and they've seen edited video. And because even that kid, like what that kid did, you're like, bro, you're not supposed like. You're not. You break legs that way. Like that's not. He didn't outrun Dom. He got away from Dom. He almost died too. Like, if the decision is like, hey, you get caught trespassing someplace or you almost die, just get caught trespassing. A little tone of advice. Just get caught trespassing. That's all I'm saying. All right. Anyways. I don't want to do that because Dom's not here and I don't want it, but yeah, we saw some security footage, and I was like, "Bro, did he didn't show that to everybody, did he?"
No,
he just
does.
Yeah. It's been wild. Like we just installed for Hangouts. I actually think we could probably get you on there, but it's like I don't really say much in it, but it's a whole channel, thing like on our Hangouts. So
yep.
Yeah. Somebody asked they're like, how are you already outside? And I go, because I'm always outside. And then I decided to show proof the other day, and it was fun. Damn, it was fun. A little bit too much though. And then I was at the game, and I was up at the game hanging out with Spark the next day getting on TV. So like, what you want? What a life.
I don't know how you're awake. You've been going too hard.
I go every day, man. But yeah, sometimes I took a bath today. I had to. I put in like the bombs, and kids got me all these things.
Right. You're getting it tomorrow too. Probably.
It's liquid IV. Sweat it out. Liquid IV. Sweat it out. Game time. Make sure you smell right. Make sure everything's changed.
Yeah.
Whew. That's it. All right. Let's get into the news though.
All right. So a slow week. But kind of nice that Dom's not here because I don't think Dom would be too happy with a lot of the news. So
I don't know. He's starting to calm down. He's coming back to reality.
Yeah, unless you talk about the world between worlds, then he loses his mind.
Oh yeah,
he did.
Yeah.
He thinks Luke is going to World Between Worlds in the upcoming comics. That's what you missed.
Is that what he was saying?
Yeah.
Was that the only time I've ever heard him talk bad about Filoni was apparently Filoni said something.
Yeah, Filoni said Filoni would.
Okay, get to news. We'll get to news. Yeah, we'll get.
It doesn't matter. I didn't put it in here, but I did put one thing for Dom. Dom wanted.
So what did he say? So Filoni said that
you know how the kyber crystals, like Luke was like transported somewhere with the kyber crystal in that one.
Yeah.
So he thinks that he.
It was a vision. He wasn't really transferred, but
but he thinks he went to the World Between Worlds. So the kyber crystal transports people to the World Between Worlds now.
So I don't know.
I don't buy it, but I told him it was word salad, but that was what he was talking about.
Oh, that's the word salad thing.
Yeah. All right, so Fandom came out with its top film franchise, and this was yesterday. Today it came out with the top entertainment franchise, and on both of the lists, on the one spot for the year, Star Wars, which was, and there was a big article about how they judged this. They judged this on number of articles. They do it on critic ratings, on individual ratings. They do it on like 7 different metrics that they do, and it's Fandom's one of the big ones. And so the film franchise, it came out with number 1 with Disney at number 2, and I think Marvel was 4. I forget what the other ones were. And then the entertainment one was Star Wars was 1, and you had Last of Us and all that stuff was up there too, because they considered everything because that's not really a film franchise. That's more of a game and a TV show.
Yeah, I mean,
it was fascinating to see that was this year. This was the best franchise, and I couldn't argue with it. Like when you think about the other franchises for this year.
Well, too, you got to think about this too, and I'm not just saying like if they're checking on everything. Like, what franchise can host a fucking con to themselves that sells out as fast as San Diego Comic-Con, gets bootlegged as much? You know what I mean? And like people are pissed at when it goes someplace that they can't get to.
Yeah, the only franchise I know that has bigger conventions is Star Trek, but that's
I don't even know what that is, and I've never even heard of something like that. No, I mean like Celebration, like on the level of Celebration, like it's like it's just what they just have one. It's there. It doesn't matter if they put a movie out or not. It doesn't matter. Like, and go in there. I mean, Star Trek. I bet you Star Trek. Like what they play some dress up stuff as like people in like weird polyester suits or whatever. But like they can have like nobody's ever met. I've never heard anybody go, "Dang, I didn't get to the Star Trek convention." It's like, yeah, but I know people that are like, "God damn it, Celebration!" Oh my god, like,
dude, I covered Celebration this year on another channel, and dude, that was a blast. Like,
it's ridiculous, dude.
Automatic blast.
I was hoping to go to the next one, but I ain't going all the way to Japan.
The GTK comic, I'm telling you that. But what I'm telling you is. Celebration runs out of the whole point of these cons are to sell merch.
Yeah.
They run out of merch.
Yeah. They
run out of merch.
They did it Celebration this year. Like
they did it
halfway through. Halfway through.
Halfway through. They produce so much merch. They're like, okay, cool, we're gonna triple it up. And then they run out of merch again. They do it every Celebration, dude. It's like they just can't make enough. It's always busier. It's always more packed. They sell more. They actually up the number of tickets at the venues that they do it, and they still. It's like I'm telling you, like it's on the level of a San Diego Comic-Con, and you get. I'm not knocking JoeCon. I'm not knocking the Polyester Con or whatever the other one was. I'm just saying, like it's not on the same level,
right?
Like the Polyester Con is on the level of like the Brick World thing that we have down the street at like one of the things, right? It's okay. I'm not knocking it. There's a bunch of weirdos. Okay, fine. Same thing with G.I. Joe Con. G.I. Joe Con's the same way. It's like the same size as that. Actually, a little smaller. But like Celebration, I mean, you got con-wise, they take over the McCormick's. They take over the same place C2E2 takes over. And it sells out stuff. Like C2E2's packed. And I'm not saying that they don't have to go limited exclusive 500 pieces. No. They say, here's the door. We're going to keep open till this is done. And by day 2, there's empty, like in their merchandise area, general merchandising, show merchandise. That's what I'm telling. I'm not saying specialty shit. I'm saying general admission show merchandise. The shit sells out. Tell me where. Answer Celebration. That's how you play Jeopardy, by the way. All right.
And that's the thing, though. Like for Celebration this year, it was wall-to-wall people, and for a franchise, but you could, another reason why
Chicago too is fun. Go ahead.
A reason why Star Wars has been named top franchise here is just look at what Star Wars opened up for everybody. Like, look at there's people on all walks of life that know characters. They not even possibly Star Wars fans, but like they just know characters. Yeah. Darth Vader's a household name.
Yep.
Luke Skywalker's a household name, man. Like these are legitimate like hardcore things.
Lego advent calendars. Go.
I know.
Yeah, Lego advent calendars, video games. They're not
even on sale. I go to Target the other day to pick them up. All the other advent calendars on sale. Star Wars, they don't put on sale.
Nope, they don't put them on sale. They put them on sale for one day. If you don't pick them up on that one day, and I actually bought one because I had bought the Marvel one for my kid. Then he wanted the Star Wars one, so of course I gave it to him, and now I don't have one. And it's like, this is the first year I'm not going to have it. But yeah, it's been about 4 years since they've actually put those things on sale now. But it's the number one selling advent calendar for most profitable. And I know they start to do this Marvel one, but it's not as good. They got friends or whatever they have to make alternate stuff. But even like Harry Potter, they're not going to make that Harry Potter advent calendar anymore. That thing's $9.99, bro. Like, ain't nobody trying to be a wizard.
No.
So when you start looking at like the volume, that's what I'm saying. Like when you start looking at profitability, let's be honest. Star Wars isn't anything but meant to sell stuff. It's literally comes from the era of merchandising. They really created entertainment to merchandise. And it...
Yeah.
And the great thing is this article was talking about is they don't even have to put movies out.
Yeah.
Like their movies can suck or they don't even have to put them out and it doesn't matter. People still love it. And we'll go to all the celebrations. They'll read the books.
People have made dedicated Star Wars channels on hating it and still get views. Okay?
Lots of views. Lots of views.
Like, what the heck, man? Like, on both the positive and negative side, Star Wars influences a lot of people. Okay?
Wookie, you got to go.
Wookie, you really missed out. You were close.
Yeah. What state's he in?
California.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you had to have gone to Anaheim.
You had a great
chance. Anaheim. Oh, yeah, man. So good.
No.
Yeah.
So if Celebration wasn't in Japan next time, I'd be going again, but I'm not going to Japan for Celebration.
It's already unlocked over there. Like, it's cheat code. Like, it's crazy already.
Yeah.
I mean, like...
It might be the biggest one because there's gonna be so many people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
He just TOT guy. Happy New Year's.
Adam Driver's in the news this week. You know, he's been talking about Star Wars lately, and he confirmed, to nobody's surprise. And I mean, there's a couple people that seem upset about this, but I don't know why they should be.
Who?
He's dead. He will not be coming back ever again to Star Wars. Which, how do you come back to Star Wars when you're dead? I mean, I guess there's always
helps.
Wars, he's dead.
Hayden. Anyone? Hayden.
He's mad. He's mad because they ruined his character, and he's absolutely right to be mad because they ruined his character because they gave him an outline of what his character was going to be, and then they switched it on him, and he's like, I don't want to deal with that anymore.
Who did?
JJ.
JJ. All right. I get that portion of it. But I'll also say, like, I don't think this was the dude to play a major part in a Star Wars character. Like,
no,
Emo Boy's not exactly where, like, he could play like Finn maybe or something, but like, I don't think
to play Ben. No, definitely not.
Yeah, like I don't think it was all just the writing, dude.
No,
you know what I mean? Because then somebody told me to go watch something with him in it. And I'm like, oh, well, like, yeah, like, what's he talking about? Of course they cast him for that part to act that way because that's what he acts like. Like, yeah, as an actor, I don't know why he's like a human being, just as an actor.
He's wooden. He's a wooden actor. Like, literally.
He plays that. Remember people used to call people soy boys like 10 years ago or whatever? It was supposed to be like nonchalant hipsters or whatever. That's what he always plays. So, like, when he showed up on screen of Star Wars playing a nonchalant hipster, soy boy, whatever you want to call that. Like it's whatever the genre was, you know, like the Juggalo or whatever. Yeah. He that's what he plays all the time. And I don't think it's,
but I would have
a great actor. I think it's just what he does.
I would have liked to see if they would have taken the arc in the direction they said, where he would have been like this badass, like non-stoppable Sith character, like how he's done. Because that would have been interesting to me, but like, they left him in that role. They started him out in that perfect Nemo role, which is what he is. But he was supposed to morph into something else, and that's what I think he wanted. He wanted a different role,
maybe. Right? But do you think he can? Because I watched a couple things with him. It never looked like there's much morphing.
Honestly, honestly, I don't think he could have played the badass Sith he wanted to play.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes
few people can. Few people can.
Yeah, sometimes it's just not your thing. Sometimes it's not your range, and like. No offense, I don't think that's his range, and that's okay. Like, sometimes you gotta stop trying to live up here, and you just gotta live where you belong down here. Because that's all.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I don't think anybody's sad about this one. We're good with that. There's a Star Wars Insider fan. They come out with these specialty books.
Hold on, TMNT. I don't think he could play. He definitely can't play fucking her role.
No, not at all. No,
there's no shot, dude. No shot. He'd just be moping around. Oh, I guess I'm gonna have a food pack. No shot. No shot.
No,
I guess
not
whatever,
at all.
Man.
She's tough. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can say what you want about the character if you liked her or not, but she played a bad bitch. Like,
yeah, she was badass. She was badass.
Yeah. So Star Wars Insider, every once in a while they do these specialty one-offs. Nice. It can be a souvenir hardcover that they're coming out with, like 150-page extended magazine type of deal. And it's going to center on the history of the Mandalorian. So it'll go back, you know, be a big features on Boba and all that stuff, and all the way through
How much is
The
this?
Mandalorian. So if you're a big fan of the Mandalorians, you want to learn the history, this one is announced to be coming out in February. So
we gotta buy this for buy this for Dom. We gotta get it for him. He has to have this.
Yeah.
Is
this gonna be limited or is it not?
I don't think this one is, but they always do a limited cover. So
we should see if we can get the limited cover for him. Remind me, we'll look into it.
Yep. This was the one Dom wanted to include in here. I don't know why, but Barry Holland, who played Lieutenant Renz, died this week, and so he was also out about this one. So
this is the point of the show where I say something and it's not meant to be mean, and then I get people saying that I like to drown kittens in fucking lakes or some shit. So,
all he said was one line. He said one line, and he got famous from Rebel Scum or whatever. That's it. That's the only thing he did.
Well, and you know, Marco. All I have to say about that is, sometimes you just have to drown kittens. You know.
Okay. I mean, I don't think the majority of people would have known if it wasn't something that hit his Twitter feed and tried to make a big deal about it. I don't think he would have fucking known this guy died. So
no.
I don't even think he would have known who Lieutenant Renz was or Renz.
I only knew about this, and normally like that's on my radar because big Hollywood guy, but like the only reason I knew about this was because he put this on the on the chat.
That's what I'm saying. Like good for this guy. Condolences to his family.
Condolences, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yep. I guess he also played a role in Indiana Jones, but nobody knows what that one is either. So
which fucking role did he play there? The guy in the background?
I don't know.
Guy number D. All right, cool, man.
Oh, Tamara Morrison came out this week and says the fate of Book of Boba Fett season 2 is uncertain due to budget concerns, but he says fans are clamoring for season 2.
That is not true. That he's so full of shit.
I just have to ask: has Tamara Morrison taken some like?
Dude, I love him. No,
hey, reality pills lately or something?
No, hey, look. If everybody else is gonna ask for a bag, this dude's at least out here creating bullshit. He's like, yeah, man, that budget. They don't want to give us $20. We asked for $20 million. They're like, nah. He's like, but fans are like, yeah, fucking Dom wants. But hey, you know what though?
I'm pretty sure Dom is Tamara Morrison's best fan. So like they talk all the time because he's the only one I know that wants a season 2. So like
no. Hold on though. This isn't like a Rob Liefeld thing where like Rob Liefeld blocks everybody that has anything bad to say about him. So he's got like 5 people on his thing that goes, you really did copy you fucking off of Deathstroke. You really did come up with Deadpool. No, this is different. Like he does a good job, and I bet you a lot of the thing that he's hearing is like, we want a Book of Boba Fett 2 so that we can fix it, right?
Yeah.
Because in Tamara Morrison's head, he wasn't as stiff as he was fucking stiff. Because then it'll always be like, yeah, just like the Rodriguez stuff, right? And then he's like, yeah, I was a badass in Rodriguez. But if you go back and look, don't go back and watch that Rodriguez thing with the mindset that that's like a little kid, Tooth Fairy. There you go.
Yeah,
that's all we say.
Good thing Dom's not on tonight for this one article because that's all we got pretty much this week.
Dom has a big voice.
My favorite part of Book of Boba Fett was 2 characters that weren't even really should have been there. Okay, so like my whole favorite scene in the whole of those episodes of Book of Boba Fett was Grogu putting the Rancor to sleep and then snuggling up with it. Okay,
I thought that was stupid. Stupid as shit, dude. I'll be honest with you. I did like that they were doing a a Hutt aspect of it, but like they dropped the ball in that too. The writing was just bad. It was just bad
all around.
Yeah.
So nobody wants season 2.
BK skipping 2 was just trash. It was.
All right. So there is a Star Wars car wash in Chile that is now getting sued by Lucasfilm. And everybody who is washing their cars in a different Star Wars outfit. And so this was a kind of clever thing if you're in Chile.
I believe it's pronounced Chile.
Chile.
Yes.
I hate that they do this. They sue this thing because it's not something they're ever going to do, nor that should they do. I wish they could just find a way to give them a short little check to Lucasfilm and let them keep doing this thing because it's a pretty cool idea.
Well, I think this isn't like the Lucas days, like the George days, where like anything he just tries to put the K. Like the 501st is famous for it. Like George tried to kill the 501st.
Yeah, I know. I was part of it.
Yeah, until somebody was like, "Hey, dude, you can't do that." But I think maybe if they're like, "Hey, listen, we're not going to do it every day," probably okay, right? Like,
yeah,
you can't do. Hey, bro, you can't do this every fucking day, right?
It's awesome.
It is.
I would go to the car wash.
Waysinger, I'm not saying it's not awesome, but you can't do it every day. Like, I'm not trying to defend Lucasfilm. I'm just saying, like, all right. Yeah, I know.
yeah. Hey,
like you go once a quarter, maybe you throw some like kids a turkey on Thanksgiving. Fine, even though they don't have Thanksgiving down there. But my point is, you do that every once in a while, fine. But every day, you can't have this shit every day, bro. This ain't it.
I don't know. I think it's a brilliant idea. I love it. Star Wash. That's great. I love it.
I don't know. Gold bikini Leia might be fun to wash my car. Anyway,
probably would sell.
I
agree, and I'm not saying it's not, but like they're like full on doing it every single day. Like their whole business model is that. Like you can't do that, bro.
Do you know how miserable it would be to be in a Darth Vader suit though, watching a car?
Yeah, especially
that would be like the worst job ever.
Especially look at pointing. Yeah. Yeah, I would like to see the labor cost for this too, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I mean, they look like they're good.
But those suits are sweet.
They aren't cheap.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah. So,
I
go
don't see a picture of Slave Leia.
Because it's not going to be around for much longer.
Well, if it was in Brazil, the Slave Leia, I would be down there already.
Yeah. So do you guys think that in Brazil that Slave Leia would be topless? Anyway,
no, she'd be in a thong for sure. There wouldn't be much left to the imagination, I'll tell you that.
No, not at all.
But like, aren't these some of these countries down here, a lot of the bootlegs came out of them. So like,
yeah.
I mean, what are they really going to do?
I don't know. What can you really do?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll check back with them in a little bit.
These are cool. These are going on sale January 2nd. These are Star Wars Darth Vader lightsaber hilt electric water bottles.
Oh, cool.
They will be releasing on Tuesday or whatever. I think at 8 o'clock Pacific, 11 Eastern. These are expected to sell out in minutes. They have a little button where like it pops off the top so you can drink out of it. And when it does, it's supposed to have like lightsaber sound. So every time you drink, you have a lightsaber sound that comes off. I'm not sure how that will work.
That seems annoying as fuck. Wayseeker's that fucking guy. Yeah. I was about to say, like, what you gotta warm up your water? Where you
these are not thermoses. Hot stuff cannot go in it. It's a preference. Has to be, cold or lukewarm for water, whatever. This is a water bottle. This is not a thermos. These are going to be retailing for $35, which isn't bad for a water bottle, especially one that has sound effects and things like that and looks like a lightsaber. I am all in on this. I will be buying one of these on January 2nd, refreshing Shop Disney because they said that they had one of these for I forget what franchise, one of the Disney franchises that they did about a month and a half ago, and it sold out in like 21 minutes or something like that. Yeah. So they're expecting these to sell out.
How much are they?
35.
No, it's not bad.
No, it's not bad. So
yeah. When are they coming out?
8 a.m. Pacific. So I don't know, yeah.
What day?
On the 2nd.
Tuesday, the 2nd.
So
yeah, I caught myself on that one. I said, yeah, I got it, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah. So hopefully you got that, Ruben.
8 a.m. Pacific. So you're close to that, Ruben.
Yeah.
It's like 1 hour difference. So
I'm excited for this one. I'll be picking this one up.
This is one of those things. This is one of those things that you would think would be silly, but it actually seems pretty cool.
Yeah, no. This is one of those things where you're like, wow, okay, cool, and then you're like, shit. Remember, like 10 years later, remember we had this? I wonder how much it's worth on eBay. That's what this is gonna be. Shit.
It might go for more than you think 10 years from now. You don't know.
Yeah. You know,
it could be one of those things that go for nothing, or it could be one of those things that go for something. I don't know.
Yeah, like some of those ornaments you showed us last time.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you see that, like, if you put anything above like tap water on the cold thing, it shorts it out. It fucking fires. It's like nobody wanted this.
It electrocutes the person it's hanging on.
I'll report back, but I just hope every time I go take a drink, like you hear the lightsaber sound, so it annoys the crap out of everybody around.
Yeah, you are that type of dude. I hear that. Oh, that's horrible.
Oh Lord!
You get one of the Stellan Geos ones where they have like the side things going off there, and you could drink of. That would be pretty.
Oh, I saw somebody got a deal on one of those. The price might have come down on some of those.
The price has come down quite a bit.
Yeah, well, they actually put a second round out too that we didn't cover. I'm sure of. But yeah.
All right. Craig Derrick, he is a senior executive producer for Lucasfilm Games, tweeted, I think yesterday, Star Wars Hunters will be arriving in 2024, and he can't wait to see people getting.
They were supposed to arrive in 2023 too.
Finally, they're supposed to arrive in 2021, I think, or 2022. It's going to push. I do think finally it will be arriving because these guys don't.
This is mobile, right?
So
this is mobile, right?
Yeah, mobile. Yeah, and Switch.
Yeah. Speaking of, this is kind of topical to this subject, but like they Star Wars: The Old Republic MMO just got a new developer a little while back, and they just dropped a huge update to the game, and I started playing it again. It's actually pretty cool.
I mean that game is great. It's just you get so far behind, and you're just like, I don't want to play to get caught back up because it's just gonna eat away my life.
Well, I played it pretty solid for a couple years, and then it kind of dropped off, and I haven't played it in a while. And then like I noticed they dropped the new update, so I got back into playing it again. It's actually pretty fun. So
yeah, I actually found this game to be underwhelming. But I haven't played it in about a year. We covered it when we did the book review. I did a lot of gameplay. I'll be interested to see what the gameplay is. We'll try to get some hangouts something like that when this one comes out for people.
When this comes out, if you guys want me to, since I do a lot of mobile games, I'll test it out and we can talk about it.
Yeah, be great.
Yeah, whatever. Cool.
Yeah. So, yep, I've played it a couple times. It's okay. And this one's for Marco. This is the last news of the week. It's been a slow Christmas week. Claudia's coming to Motor City ComicCon. Marco's going to have to get his interview camera out. He's going to have to do some work for us.
I need you to. I was actually going to talk to you about writing a press thing for me, but I got to call some people. I actually know the bookers over there, so.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's my hometown.
Oh, so you're up there near Motor City then?
No, yeah, like it's in my backyard.
This is Marco's.
Con.
Yeah,
it's my con.
Cool.
This is
like
this is Marco's.
What's interesting about that?
Marco's girl. So
she is the best. She's by far the best writer out there for.
What's interesting about that is the previous show, 2 shows ago that I was on, the guy that was the head of that show was also near the Motor City ComicCon.
Yeah, it's a little different though. Like, I'll tell you the history behind, but there's a lot of us there. Like,
yeah,
it's literally our con. Like,
yeah. So Marco will have to be doing some work for us for once. He can't just
maybe
out and do some soccer games and whatever else during con.
Yeah. So I'll go in like in the middle of the con, leave and go coach a soccer game and come back and just.
Now he actually has to do something for once.
Yeah.
And so we'll feel that way.
Yeah. Like I said, it's our con. I mean, like. It's literally you just wake up, you go, hey, I'm gonna go over there for a little bit. All right, cool. And you get some people in, and
you sound like me. Like I live less than 30 minutes from where they do Dallas Comic-Con every year. So like, I've done that before. Gone to Comic-Con, left in the middle of it, gone back.
Oh yeah, it's a constant thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw Stick. Shout out to him too. He sent that. Somebody else from Motor City sent me this and said, "What did you think?" And
that's awesome.
I said it was a great get. I said I've been telling you to get her for a while, so it's good. I'm glad. I'm happy, and yeah. I didn't. It was around the holidays when they sent it out, and I didn't want to. I don't know. I'm also not good at interviewing people. Let's be honest.
Can always send you some questions.
That ain't gonna help.
He's gotta not drop the F-bomb every 4
Yeah, it's like,
seconds.
hey, what the fuck are you doing today? All right, cool. Let's go. Why the fuck are you even here? Let's go. What do you want to do? Get some drinks and shit. Hey, listen. Look at these clowns. They smell bad.
That George Mann guy, he's horrible. What do you think?
Horrible. I'll be back in a little bit. I gotta go coach a soccer game. You need some ice. Let's go.
Anyway.
No. Yeah, I just F around. I mean, I literally just F around at that con. So
that is the week in Star Wars. It's always the week before, but between Christmas and New Year's, there's not much news going on. So
dude, I hope she doesn't cancel. I was extremely excited about that, dude.
She won't.
I really do.
Yeah.
She's top 3 for sure. Top 3.
Yeah. She won't cancel.
Yeah, maybe not. I was actually trying to get her at a different con, and they didn't book her, which they should have, because they were like, "What are you talking about?" And now they're gonna be like, "Oh, we should have booked them." Yeah, I told you. But if you can't get it in one place, you gotta get it in another place. All right. It's also a soft week. Wow, that was a short news segment. It also is a soft week in comics.
Yeah.
Yep.
We had Dark Droid in 1,000 copies. But hey, guys, once again, we're going to keep doing this. I threw together about 5 more comic books to look at after this that have to relate with this segment. But Dark Droids. Huh?
I still love that Darth Vader cover.
Well, we'll see how much you love it in a little bit.
I almost picked one up. Picked one up for 112. But I talked myself out of it.
There's an auction going on right now. We'll get into it. Okay. All right. So here we go. Got a bunch of these. We know what happens already, but they still show us this. This was kind of weird, dude. So they have a droid that just goes on and then decides to blow up it, like all the alien/humanoids, whatever. They blow it up in here, and then yeah, that's what we're gonna do. It's like a little overboard for a Star Wars book, but whatever. Then I figured out that they think that's what horror is. I don't. Anyhow, the Scourge now is getting poked in the head by some dude and then punching himself. It just didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Ajax has now got I don't know. Ajax is weird. All the Death Droids are like, listen, you killed everybody else and there's nobody left. What do you want us to do? And he's like, well, we're going to sacrifice ourselves. And they're like, no, we're not. We're just going to blow somebody up. Then Dr. Disrespect gets taken over by a fucking Scourge for some reason. I didn't know the Doc was into fucking Star Wars comics, but apparently he is. Yeah. But that shit happened, I guess. So there you go. And then Luke is gets taken over too, I guess. And then they show everybody. It's stupid. Then Ajax stabs him. What was the point of all the droids if you had Ajax there? Stab him. And then everybody instantaneously. Actually, the book where they released too early had a better storyline than this. So I guess I'm glad we didn't wait for this book. Ajax then gets some necromancer sword for somehow. Which, okay. Hey, then he goes back and goes, hey, listen, we're going to try another revolt. And guess what? If this wasn't the worst fucking event that you had, don't worry. We're going to try it again later. So thanks a lot, Charles.
The end.
Anybody happy? No, it's not the end. Because he literally says here.
It says the end.
Yeah, but he literally says, if you read the book, we're going to give this another try because it was so good.
What?
Oh, God, no.
Oh, man, this was struggle bus.
No, this was by far the worst event, and that's saying something because some of the Hidden Empire stuff was horrible.
Yeah, Hidden Empire was bad. This was the worst.
But this was a waste of 3 months of all of our comics.
I wouldn't mind if they gave Ajax and did the whole Droid Garada thing.
Now the design of Ajax looks badass, but
yeah, stupid.
I don't mind Ajax. Ajax wasn't the big problem in the story. I would be fine with an Ajax story.
That's what I'm saying. Ajax story I wouldn't mind, but
this whole Scourge
thing was stupid. They even brought up that was part of the Eternal or whatever, and just so dumb.
The Spark Eternal needs to be gone forever.
All right, so everybody knows how we cover these fucking Mandalorian books. So next week coming out in comics is Darth Vader number 42. That was a smooth transition.
It was. You did it great.
Thank you. The 25. I actually like this 25 incentive, and I like the fact that they're switching over to. How do you think you say that name?
I'm not gonna try it.
Alan. We'll call him Alan.
I'm gonna say Alan.
Yeah, okay, Alan. Good.
Yeah,
I like Alan. I know that some people were mentioning his other book, which it was weird because they're doing these 25 incentives, but like if you've noticed, they're like giving artists multiple times on these, but they're not doing them back to back for some reason, which doesn't make any sense. Because
I don't know. But that A cover, that is horrible. Like, why do you need Masameda and Sly Moore on a cover?
Well, because you know what's happening, right? They're starting some.
I get what's happening, but we just don't need it. That the cover is like I get they're trying to make Sly Moore like the new Ventress or whatever. Like she looks like Ventress in some of the covers.
Yeah,
so it's just not. Don't need.
I don't know. They're trying to do it so they don't have to use the Emperor every single time. I think, and that's going to be a problem. I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's just stupid. The whole thing that they're doing with this is going to be really dumb. They need to give Vader a break. But the cover is pretty dope, even though it looks a little shaky here. I don't know why it didn't come out that good. They also got the Ahsoka Tana Clone Wars Rebel cover and a Vader Black Star cover or Space cover. So that's kind of cool. At least you get those. I mean, that's the way to get your 25.
I like that Ahsoka cover. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks all right.
I just am really upset that the first Rebels cover is Ahsoka. Like, that makes no sense. I get she's a character in Rebels, but she's not a main character in Rebels. And you're putting her first because, you know, they know it's going to sell. But
fair. That's I didn't even think about that. That's a valid point. All right, but luckily next week we do have something readable. And we got a Raza, which I like Raza's art. So Shadow of the Starlight number 4. The 125s is the Raza. The character that unfortunately, once again, that Wayseeker was high on doesn't look to be that great. General
Vice.
Man, nobody gives a shit.
Vice.
Nobody gives a shit.
I got two. I picked up a second Raza one this week. We'll see if I'm right about this one, but that's one of my favorite covers of the year.
So. Okay, well, here we go with that, which we probably should have done, but maybe we'll do it next week. Favorite covers of the year. However, I did decide that going through this, we were going to take a look at some of those books because the FOC is Wales this week again. It's going to be a tough week for a couple of us. All right, so I want to look at this 1 in 25 because it's something we've kind of been looking at to see where the market's going with certain things. The average available for this is 33.24 going into the week. The low available is $14.99 for this 1 in 25. There's a couple of them out there, so go get them if you need them. The last two sales were $15 and $20 on this. So it's not bad. And then I thought, well, I know the name. Where did I see his other Vader cover? It happened in 40. I know Dom. See, I thought Dom was going to be here because I didn't listen to what he said. But I was going to ask him about this because he thought this was like one of the dopest covers of all time. And I was going to ask him if he bought it or not.
We know he didn't.
The high for this was, well, you can't get him anymore. The high for this was pretty close to ratio. It was $22.99. The low, however, was $9.99. And the average for this 1 in 25, which, by the way, this is pretty good. Like, these averages for the 125 being at $14.80. And that's really, I mean, the 22 was an outliner. Like, it was really high for the book the week it came out. And the $9.99 was really low for the book when it came out. But, like, a lot of the books did sell in the $12 to $15 range, which is nice. I mean, it's good to see that you're getting ratios for under ratios again, which is good, especially on these dope-ass covers. Availables currently are $9.99 if that's still available. This was done earlier.
We just don't need 1 in 25s for issue 40 and 42. Like, they're just not needed anymore.
I understand that, but when you like, I think what they're trying to do is test out some of these artists to see if they can go long term, so we can switch it up a little bit. Which we desperately
do desperately need it. We just don't need 1 in 25s for everything. That's a new development that I just think they need to get rid of.
I agree, but it is what it is. It's the future. Anyways, $14.49. Now, Shadow Starlight, we already looked at the one last week, or well, we'll pull it up because we looked at it 2 weeks ago. But number 4, this isn't the right data for this.
No, that's not the right data. I got mine for
right
15.
Yep. Yeah, it's around $15. Yeah, you can get it for 15 to 25 right around now.
Yeah.
I did go back to look at number 3 though to see what it was at. The high sold. This is last week, by the way, not the previous week that after it came out. The high overall since it came out was $46. Available right now is $49.99. There is an auction going on until Friday for $12.84. This book's weird. It came down, right? So on the 17th, you could get it for $28. Or there's 17 bids on the 24th for $28 for this book. This is a 1 in 50, right? Yeah, 125. 125. 125. So last 4 sales. On the 24th, there were 17 bids for 28 on this. Then, same day, next one ended. It was $31, 14 bids. Okay. The next day, they put another one up for auction, $40.99, which is getting close to the high overall for it. And then finally, just the 27th, a couple days ago, $45 with 20 bids. Like, these look legit too. You know what I mean? So the price went down for a little bit and now has gone back up. I'm going to be interested to see what it does on that Friday.
People got that Christmas money. They spend it.
They did. They did a little bit, but you can also see, like, I think, like, people realize that, like, the spoiler cover, this is, like, remember, this was called the spoiler cover, and it wasn't a fucking spoiler. No. Like,
it's still a cool cover.
It is. You can definitely, hopefully it'll come back down a little bit and you can get it for under ratio again, but it got pretty close to under ratio there for a while. Sitting strong a couple weeks later. So there you go. And then finally, we looked at this book. We originally showed you that the first Raw sold for $33.52 out of UK. The next book we were looking at an auction, it was $100 at the time of the show. It went up. That one ended up selling for 8 bids for $127.50 for this 1 in 100. The available right now, there's an auction that they're starting it off at $147 with 0 bids. Good luck. The UK's got 2 available, $133.85 and $127.47, translating to USD. I don't know, man. I think I still don't understand why that Valance book sold for as much as it does. There doesn't seem to be a lot of these. I know Thade said it's cool. We'll look back maybe in a month to see what this, I think, is actually going for. If these other 3, because there's probably like 5 or 6 of these available. There's not a lot, but it looks like there's more than the Valance. Maybe store owners were buying it because they saw the cover. I don't know why, but like,
I don't know. I saw one for $112. It was a local shop, and I didn't buy it. I thought about it, but I decided no. Still too high for me.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully you can get some of these 1 in 100s for under that. I know people were looking for them, so I don't know, but that's what we have this week. Happy New Year, everyone. No peach cover. I didn't do the peach Momoka cover. This I was looking at second print. You don't want to know how low those things are going. There we go. All right, well, there we go. Next up, what do we have next, Wayseeker?
All right, we do this once a month. What?
Well, they go ahead. Sorry, actually, Thade had something.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention just briefly the High Republic storyline just put out a character encyclopedia recently. I haven't had a whole lot of time to look through it, but it basically breaks it up into. Give me just a second here. The contents breaks it up into Jedi characters, threats to the Jedi, and then just Galactic Republic characters and citizens. It's a 200-page book, and it does just like brief little explanations of the characters. Like it'll tell like species of the characters, what books they're in, and it gives just like a real quick like bio blurb on them.
Yeah.
Looks like a pretty interesting book. Like I said, I've only gotten a chance to kind of briefly look through it, but it looked pretty good.
Interesting. Yeah, I always try to pick those up, but I always try to wait because sometimes those go on sale for a little bit. So
it's one of those DK books.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Those ones are harder to find sometimes.
I found it kind of interesting. I'm gonna give it a full read through, and maybe I'll have a review of it next week or something.
I was surprised at how many of the new characters they already had in there and how they ranked it. I actually thought Wayseeker would love it because it seems like a book on a book report. It has like all these like book report type time graphs and all this other bullshit.
Yeah,
like highlight stuff for no.
They have like the maps. I need maps and like all the dates.
It had a bunch of shit, a bunch of dates, a bunch of like lines that go this way, this way, this way, this way for no fucking reason.
Perfect.
It's got a lot of nice art in it too.
It does. I read the stuff.
It's got a timeline and everything, gives you years and stuff. It's pretty good.
I read the thing on Porter Angle and just thought, wow, this is really a far reach and stupid. They're trying to explain why he doesn't look like he looked before, and it's just dumb.
Yeah. Great.
Hey, Keith.
Well done.
Happy New Year's, gents. Managed to catch
your best character that from the High Republic. You've have to explain away what you did wrong, unfortunately.
Hey, happy Sarah, to you too. Happy Damn, he's working. Like I said, everybody's
got work.
People got to save lives today, guys.
Yep.
All right. So this is kind of for the title. It said, "Wake up, time to buy." Which was kind of about that 125 because it was going for about 12 and a half. But like, apparently, Waysinger then told me, no, it may not be time to buy. So let's see what it is.
Time to buy. I don't know. I really am interested to see where the market's going to go. So we'll talk about this maybe a little bit afterwards. Like, just because we're in overcorrection, I think we're probably in overcorrection territory for some of these books. That doesn't mean that they're going to correct anytime soon. Like, you can stay in overcorrection period for a very long time. And I kind of think that might be where we're headed for some of these books. But today we're looking at 3 books, and I wanted to give TMT a shout out. TMT helped me get some pre-COVID numbers because that's something that TMT wanted on these, not just to do like the high from the COVID years, but what were some of the highs for the pre-COVID years.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
How they stack up.
Thank you, TMNT.
So, yeah, appreciate that. So we're going to look at 3 books with 5 different covers, looking at both covers for Star Wars Tales 23. This is the A cover. This is the first cameo of Revan. First cameo of Malik is in this book. I actually really love this book personally as one to read. I like these tales, and this one is ones I really like. But this one, I'll be interested to hear what your thoughts are on if it's a minor key worth owning or not, because it is a cameo. But we also have that whole KOTOR 9.
Is that a question? Yeah. Well, it's not even KOTOR 9. You got the flip book, which is, it's like the flip books. I mean, the flip book's still so cheap at this point that, like, I mean, I think if YouTubers during the pandemic knew anything about fucking comics and could explain what a first appearance was in a flip, this book would have righteousness there, but it might not. It might be its value wouldn't have spiked so high, and then it would have been still a solid, minor, important book to pick up. Right. You know what I mean? Maybe not quite as much as saying the word key, but like, you know, a minor book to pick up, an important one.
Yeah, but this one is before KOTOR 0, so
yeah. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, there would have been more relevance towards that book than 9.
Yeah, I agree. So in the high of this one, for the A cover, you were seeing sales in that 500 to 600 range in the COVID days at 9.8. We're all looking at 9.8s here, so you can see that 21. You had a 520, 550, a 600. There was an early March sale. A lot of the data is with the high sales were like right before COVID started, before the market really heated up when people got their checks and all of that stuff. But there was still some heat going on even before COVID.
That was during COVID. Before COVID, this book was only like $35.
Not 9.8. This was March 3rd, 2020. COVID was the 3rd week of March. So this is of 2020.
It was February. Was this?
No. People went spring break.
Oh, second. You're right. Second, third. Okay, go ahead.
Yep. So this happened. This was right before COVID. This thing was hit at like 300 for 9.8, which is still pretty high.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
A minor key 9.8. So
wasn't this on the rumors though? Because Wedge was on the cover, and didn't they come out and say they were going to do
Rogue Squadron stuff?
Rogue Squadron, yeah.
Maybe that was what it was with Rogue Squadron. Yeah, pumping. I don't know if that was what
it was. Wild. I just remember you could still get these like raw, maybe not 9.8 for 300, but raw you could still get them pretty cheap. But $300. I mean, that was the going rate in 2019 and 2020 for 9.8 spec. You know what I mean? Like when you think about null, and not even in Star Wars, but like null level stuff, it was $3.25. You know what I mean? So like $300 was the going rate. If something happened, I mean, I don't think it was because of Revan and Malik, because I don't even think people had heard about Revan and Malik in 2020 to spec up. But
I don't know.
All right, what else we got?
That's before my cool. So as you can see here now, our price is we're looking like 150 to 175 for 9.8. July, October for this A cover. So you're looking at like half of pre-COVID numbers, or a quarter of the high sales.
I would love to go back.
I still think this one has some room to go lower.
I would too. I think like the 300 number, because of like if you I know you weren't around in the market during that way,
No.
but that was like that's why it throws something off to me. Like when I see the $300 for 9.8, like you got to think between 265 and 3.25 at that time, 2019 to 2020 was like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a certain element of spec. Like there's stuff used to get bought up or whatever, but when it hit like a show or a list or like, and I'm not even saying like a YouTube thing, like if it hit a board, because there was a lot of boards back then, like in 2019 and 20, you still had a lot of like almost what Discord is now, but it would be either Facebook boards, CGC boards, Hangouts, that type of stuff. And there was a lot of more like, you know, they got the CBSI thing. Yeah, but that's a website. So there would be a bunch of other websites that would write stuff too that were purely speculative. And when it would hit those lists, you know, when somebody would talk about it, write an article, I mean, it's pretty much like if people know back in like 2008, the penny stock stuff, where people would write articles, they'd buy a bunch of it, write an article,
and sell,
get it to go up, and then sell. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that number feels like that type of thing. So I'd like to see if I don't know where we could go back and find out if anybody can remember if this was. For some reason, I think just because it does say Wedge on it, because people definitely weren't reading these books. So and it would take in 2020 at that time in March, I think CGC was at about, I want to say a month and a half. So we'd have to look about a month. We'd have to look about January to see if there was any buzz news around this book in the January. If anybody wants to do that, I don't want to do that.
I don't know. We could go back, but
But I agree. I don't think, especially now, you got like if you got it is first, I get it, but like you got the flip book, you got 9. Flip book lowers the price on this book, even though it shouldn't. 9's been dropping. I think no matter how much people try to push these characters, you know, I think the reality has been that we're not going to see them for a little bit. But now, which is the weirdest part about this, now we're hitting that 5-6 year period since because we're in 2004, 4 years since this. You know what I mean? We're starting to hit that period of, it's like, yeah, they might not be doing Malik and Revan next year, but like we're getting at that point where it's like, okay, we're almost at the 10-year period, which is right around where they probably should be doing these characters if they do them. So
yeah,
I mean, Ruben might be right here. The movie mentioned Revan.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
So that would have been a couple months before.
19. Yeah. Yeah, that could be.
So that's a big bump. But yeah, no, anything back then, it just seemed like things bumped pretty quickly, and now they just don't bump the same way.
They will. They'll get back to that once they sift through it.
It's going to be a while, I think.
I don't think this book. No. I'm not saying. I'm saying what he said. If you hear something like this, then all of a sudden it'll go up. I mean, it's very cyclical how this stuff happens. But yeah. No, I mean, I think even 175 at this point is probably a little bit too high for this. 150 might be too high for this. I think.
I think you could see. I don't think you'll see sub 100, but I think you could see like 110.
110, 115. That's where I was at in this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you could probably still see.
This cover is the one that I think people like more of the two covers.
Yeah. Do you have the other cover on this? Or?
Yeah, we're going to cover on the list next.
Okay.
Yeah. So you got, this is the second cover. This is the Wedge cover. I mean, if you like Wedge, it's cooler, but I like the ships. I like this one, but the other one better. So this one,
CGC said on that cover, it's like 111 on average right now. I was just looking at that.
Okay.
4. No. This one hit a high pre-COVID. We were looking at 250 back in 2016, which seems like a lot way back then, but whatever. I don't know. But this one was higher. This one was $700, $550, $525. It is the variant cover, so the B cover is maybe a little bit more rare of the two, just because the B cover is a little bit more rare, but can't be that much more rare.
It's not that much. It's not that rare, but like in some of these, especially Star Wars books, like these the Tales ones and everything else, if you'll look pre-pandemic, even in the original Star Wars series, you'll see like 9/8 of like just random ass books in between 2014 and 2000 probably 19. I'm talking pre-pandemic 20, whatever, March 20, and you'll see them go for like some like $300, $400, $500, $200, and you'll be like, this book has nothing in it, but it's high grade and somebody needed it. And people started collecting, CGC collections. And it looks good on the wall. So this was the B cover and they wanted it. So that's what they got.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So that was interesting to see for those high sales. This one hit 102 in December, just a couple of weeks ago.
So that's where Thade's number coming from, because they were probably.
So you can see like the sales on this one are dropping by month. So July was 180, October 155, December's 102. That's probably, I think, sometimes you sneak a low sale in December, early December, when people are spending their money on other stuff. And so I'm not surprised by it. December's actually can be a really good time if you're looking for something cheap.
Buying month. Yeah.
Yeah.
People got to pay off their other bills for what they bought with Christmas.
People got other stuff to buy. Yeah. So it's not one that people are looking out for. But I have a feeling that that's probably about the low for that thing. But maybe.
I think you're right. I think it's probably right there. Especially now that it hit 102. You know what I mean? I think you're going to be around that level. I think we're between the $100. I think that's it. 100, 120, somewhere around there.
I'm not sure I'm a buyer. I'm just not sure I'm a buyer of this book at 100 to 120, because I don't see Revan and Malik coming for a while. And I like the characters and all, but they have to get through the High Republic completely before they announce anything else. They're not going to.
Which I think is kind of what we were saying a long time ago, and people people just had disingenuous. I mean, there's people who still watch the show. They just won't comment anymore because they accidentally get membership subscribers, which that's fine. But like, they'll still be trying to push these characters, and they get mad every time we tell them the reality of like how far off these characters are and if they come at all. And you got to remember, like, this isn't like something they're going to mess up. Like they can keep going back to the well of the games with it if they don't screw it up. So like, it's something they have to be a little bit more. Hey, thank you.
Yeah,
and Happy New Year's. Yeah. I mean, it's something that they have to be a little bit more cautious about with these two characters. Once again, the tales, like for this series to get 9.8 out of it, you're gonna see some good love. So like that's where I'm saying like it's not a bad buy at $100, and I don't think it'll go much lower than that. It has very little to do with the fucking wannabe cameos in this book. So
yeah, but I mean, High Republic will end in 2025. You might get announcement. Celebration 2026?
No. If it ends in 2025, they're probably going to name drop it. Like, I would not be surprised if they name drop Revan in the next 3 years. They name drop him again next 2-3 years. I'd be highly surprised in the next couple of years if they don't name drop him in something again, or there's not like a picture of him in the background or some shit like that. I'd be highly surprised if they didn't do that. But that's still placating for the video game. Like, that's not me. That doesn't mean he's going to show up. You know what I mean? And I think that's where we stand with that. So if you're saying, if you're saying in 5 years from now, that gives us 8 years. Yeah. I mean, our plan all the time, we've said it for a while, was almost about 8 to 10 years. So that would be in the 8 to 10 year plan where we get concrete.
It could go either way too, right? It could go Bane, then Revan and Malik.
I think it's going to go Bane first. I'll be honest.
So then you're looking at another 10 years out after that.
Yeah, the more and more you see. Well, okay, so this is what they'll do. If they do Bane, they're going to do what. Shit, we're really going to get into this. All right.
We got nothing else to do. New Year's Eve.
So if they do you got to remember, Star Wars, no matter for better or for worse, is always for some reason thinking that doing the middle section, then the previous section, and then the post section is the way to do things. That's just how they do it. If you look at their comics, how they do it, if you look at how they publish stuff, if you look at how they do movies, even in the subcategories of movies, you get a middle story, a beginning story, and end story. You know what I mean? That's like kind of how they do everything. So
yeah,
that's the format they want to use. If you do that, the middle point would be Cad Bane, rule of 2. Then your previous point of that would be Revan and Malik, rule of 2. And then you would go forward to the dead period where they can create new content, which we haven't had before. Unless they decide to, I mean, you get Trombonus or whatever the heck, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But if you do Bane, you could always go future forward with a female character, because you could do, what's her name?
Zana.
Zana.
Yeah,
Zana.
Zana.
Yeah.
So it's already made up there. I mean, you have those to go, but Bane is the middle point. So like, when you think about the middle point with Star Wars, it's always the starting point. So that's the starting point. The previous, but then you're talking 3 years between. So you're 3, 6, not. I mean 6. Like that's 6 on top of Bane. Like 3 on top of Bane, 6 on top of Mention of Bane. So that's you're looking at probably 12 years.
Yeah.
Well, 10 from here. You know what I mean? 25, 3, 28, another 3, 32. So what's that, about 10 years?
It depends on how many phases they do for that.
Yeah.
To be honest,
because you can get into the Croc, you can get into Darth Croc and all of that stuff that they've already kind of highlighted. So
to be honest,
I think it's gonna go one way or the other. We just don't know which way.
To be honest, I'd like more information on Zana.
Cool character. I mean, they just can't screw it up like they did with the comic book. That was just crazy.
Well, yeah. Well, this is the thing too. You can do they did it already in the books, but you could do 3 phases out of Bane.
Yeah.
So you could do 3 phases out of Bane, then swing back and do. I have a little faith in Croc. I think Croc was a one-off.
I think Croc will get mentioned again somewhere because that's just what they did.
Oh, I don't doubt it, but it's the same thing with what we're about to get in Star Wars. They're going to name this.
Croc could be like Bane's guy that Bane kills.
Yeah.
No, because Bane already kills the whole. Because how Bane formed the rule too, he killed all the Knights of
the Brotherhood of Darkness. Yeah.
Yeah, it had to be before Bane. Croc, because Croc is because Croc technically is before phase 2 of High Republic.
Yeah, it could be back in the Bane days. I'm saying, what if that was like the person that Bane killed?
No, because Bane would be before. Yeah. I mean,
it could be. We don't know. We just know he's one of the.
Oh, because we know who Bane. Well, yeah, you're saying if they change the story of Bane.
Yeah.
Okay, if they change. Well, I was always under the assumption that they were going to take Bane and push him forward so that you could go Plagueis, Bane, and then somebody before Bane. Wait, like, you know what I mean? After High Republic. So somebody comes out of the High Republic. That is then the leader up to Bane. And then you have Bane go into Zana, into Plagueis, right? So there's your 3 right there.
Yeah.
Or however you work it out. And you just get rid of Trombone and you get rid of the fucking wizard, whoever the fuck the wizard guy was. Remember the wizard guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You get rid of fucking Darth Wizard.
There was also a Sith Lord in there somewhere that wasn't actually evil. He was a businessman.
Yeah, there's some really bad legend stories about those Sith. Yeah, we'll cover some of that stuff maybe next year. I think people are really interested in the Sith. We're talking about how we can bring some of those stories and talk about.
Yeah. So, but even if you.
By the way, thanks for mentioning me in the chat on that, because I basically followed the Sith a huge amount, so I've got a lot of knowledge there. So
yeah, so here's the thing. I guess if we're gonna do that, like now we're really talking another 12 years, because if you go, that's a very valid point. If you go High Republic to Bane, you get Bane, Plagueis. Who do we get before Bane? Or you could go Zana, whatever. You could do that. However you do that.
However they do it. We don't know. Yeah.
There was Zana, Millennial.
Yeah, Millennial's stupid as shit.
Yeah, he was the wizard you were mentioning.
Yep.
You've got Zana. Then there's one before Millennial between Zana and Millennial.
Thomas, isn't it? It's the one. Tromba, or is that that's Plagueis?
That's Plagueis.
Plagueis. Oh. But there's like between Bane to Plagueis, there are, I want to say 15 Sith Lords.
Yeah, but some of them get rid of some of those. Yeah, but some of them are like the equivalent of Darth Maul being a Sith Lord. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like there, but they weren't really. Yeah. Anyways, whatever. I mean, you could do it, but
if they do that, we're just saying the Revan and Malak are probably a long ways away.
Yeah, so if you go Bane, Revan and Malak's fucking wait. It's 10 years after that.
Yeah, because if you go Bane, Revan and Malak were 1,000 years.
4,000.
Yeah,
it's 4,000. So it's gonna be 3,000 years before the fucking High Republic.
Yeah. So
again, so I'm not in a rush to buy this book. Is all I'm saying. Like, it's a cool book.
Star Wars Zombies.
I'm not in a rush to buy it. So
yeah.
That Dark Harvest book was interesting. Or the Death Troopers, that was an interesting book.
When they're on the up in space, the zombie troopers.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. So I guess right. It's a long time.
Next one we're looking at is Star Wars Tales 24. We'll look at both of these covers. This is first Darth Nihilus, and Darth Nihilus' apprentice, Visas Mar, or Visas Mar, however you pronounce it. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, so this would be in the same realm of the 3 that you would like. This is the grouping of 3. Maybe we should do groupings of 3s because this would be in the grouping of 3. I could see this grouping of 3 with Darth, with Revan.
Yeah.
I could see this. You know, you get the Planet Eater, you get Nihilus. You know, you get the Tribunal tribe. You know what I'm saying?
Scion, Nihilus, and Treya.
Treya, yeah, together. And then you also like I could see that and Darth Magnus, like those being the 3 stories you get for one, and then the other one is the Bane centric one where you get Bane, Plagueis, and fill in character A, B, C, and D. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I could see that. So this one I think you might see quicker. We'll see. We'll see what they announce. But this one also is the unique thing of where like this is the only time they appear in comic, and Nihilus, people like Nihilus because he looks sweet.
He is badass.
Yeah,
it's kind of I mean, he is kind of badass, right?
Nihilus was my favorite Sith Lord. So
yeah. So this one, as you've seen, not as high as the cameo one. We're looking at 500, 475, 455. At the start of COVID, this is
what else was in there? There's something else in this book.
There's I forget who it is. It's
all right. Go ahead.
One of the rebellion characters or whatever. Yeah, it's in there too. That plays in the dark times, whatever. This one was $200 right at the start of COVID. It's kind of what sales we were looking at there. So, you know, that's where this thing was sitting at then. Now we're at like 100, 120.
There's a Darth Maul story in this book.
That's what it is. All right.
Yeah.
It's a Darth Maul story in this book.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. All right, so this is the deal with this. I think this could fall lower.
Just because I don't think people don't have Nihilus on the radar ever.
Not even close. Don't the push with. Let's be honest about the push with Revan. The push with Revan was people bought KOTOR 9, and they bought it at extremely high price. I mean, extremely high price, and they didn't. And then they were given a forum to try to push that book because maybe they believed in it, maybe they didn't, maybe they were just trying to push it. I don't know. I don't care. Whatever. But then they couldn't sell it, and they couldn't sell you on it. But they kept saying the name. So this is what I've always talked about in comics. It doesn't matter sometimes. You see Wedge's face on there, and you hear this is a key, even though it's probably just an important book, not even a minor key. It's probably just an important book. And you're like, shit, Wedge, something. I don't know why, but yes. And then you get somebody say, well, you know, Revan. They don't know how Revan's tied up to it, but they hear it. They know they've heard that name 1,000 fucking times. And I'm not talking to people that are chat, Star Wars fans. I'm talking to like idiots that are out there thinking they're going to, you know, they're living in their mom's basement, going to be millionaires, right? So they hear that, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, shit, I don't want to get FOMO. So they buy it and then start pushing the price up again on that. Like, those are books that they won't forget. This book is a little off. Not a lot of people, like when I show my non-Star Wars friends this, because I remember trying to buy one of these because I saw it sub 100. And I was talking to my buddy, and he's like, what is this again? And I was like, oh, it's Nihilus. He's like, who? He's like, is that the blue guy? And I'm like, no, like, it's not the blue guy, dude. Like,
this is also the last book of this run of Star Wars Tales. So,
yep.
Mm-hmm. Which would solidify the 200 there, which probably is what I should have said, because I think that would have sold it better. Because like that's also a thing that people will buy on no matter their knowledge of the character, right? Like there's certain buzzwords
usually.
Yeah. There's certain buzzwords that people to this day, like newsstand, even though 90% of the books were newsstand. If you say that to some people, you could sell a book by putting newsstand on it, even though 90% of the books at that time were newsstand, including that one. You know, like saying the book is saying a first appearance sells a book a lot of times. You know what I mean? Saying
well, there's a lot of
low print run, which this book did not have low print run. Like
hell, there's books out there that for a specific advertisement in the book, it's considered rare, and you know, comic books are weird.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you just got to take it with compare. It's not comparing apples to apples. My point being, with this book, at least it has a couple things going for it. Like if you say end of line, which is why I assume the 200. I assume the 200 in April was because of that.
Yeah.
Because they'll say, because it like that time period right there, probably around 17 to 18, the big buzzwords that were starting was because nobody could sell Spawn, but they were low print run because it's the end of the run. That was like the big selling point. You saw it everywhere. Whenever, like on the back, if you've ever looked, like what people write, I don't know if they still do it that much, but for a while there, people would write stuff on the back of the book. Like it'd be priced on the back of the book, and it'd say like, towards the like low print, rare, hard to find book, end of series. Like that's what it'd say on the back. That's what this book had on the back of it. So like, it's a good selling point for it. I'm not saying it isn't. I'm saying it's a legitimate selling point.
This one in particular is of the two covers. This one is the less memorable cover. So this one, I think you might be able to sneak in much easier. And maybe
how do you forget biceps, bro?
I think this one you can 75, 70 even, maybe.
Yeah. I think so. I think that's where the low. I think the low could get. You could probably be honest with you. You could probably snag one of these for 65 eventually.
Yeah. And I'm actually a believer in Nihilus. It's that price. Like I wouldn't mind stashing one away.
But here's what I'm saying. Like you go to a show and you walk around and you like basically I know like almost every vendor. I say Darth, they ain't gonna know that shit. They're gonna be like, who is that again? Like if you say low, end of the run, they're like, all right, well, end of the run isn't getting you $200 anymore, which is sad.
No.
Because pre-pandemic it was getting you about 175, 200, but they wouldn't grade it either. Like that's the thing. Like end of print run wasn't a great.
We believe this character is going to come sometime to canon.
Yeah,
it's going to get a bump at that point, whenever that day is to me. So at 65 or 70, I don't mind holding it and waiting and just seeing when that character does come. And hopefully the market's a little bit better than it is right now, and that will heat things back up.
I'm saying though, you have insurance on it too, with it being like at the end of the run. So like, you got double insurance. Like that's not a term. Like Bangers and Mash might be leaving, but like
I hope so. It's a horrible thing.
End of the run is not, or whatever the hell the thing they were saying on what is. But end of the run is something that's been around for a very long time, and it's not going anywhere. So
this is the other cover. The other cover is the one I think people.
That's
like
the one
more.
everybody loves. Yeah.
This one also has a weird Boba Fett story in it too.
Is this Fett Club?
Yeah, this is Fett Club.
Fett Club. Oh yeah. Love Fett Club. Actually, that's why I was buying this book originally.
Really?
Oh, dude, Fett Club's fucking hilarious.
It's an Infinity.
I've read them all.
It's an Infinity story, but it's hilarious.
So pretty, like the Ewok in the actually that was one of our logos in the beginning. We used the Ewok from Fett Club.
Yeah,
with the Boba Fett helmet on it. Yeah. I mean, Fett Club's dope as shit, man. Like, this book's funny as shit. Like, it's a good book, and people love that fucking mall cover. So,
I think maybe we'll circle around to this at the end when we're done.
We'll talk about that.
I'm skeptical, but we'll see. This one I think is the more memorable one. You see the prices there a little bit higher. This one was going about $600. 2021 with the COVID, and before March, kind of that same range. COVID, right before COVID.
I think that's the difference that you saw between March and April. Like, if this book would have sold in April, I think this book in April was $300. It was like $300 in April. Like, it switched that fast. So like that, and then the other one selling for $200 because I think people were trying to figure it out at that point. So.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, let's not be asshole arrogant fucks. Like, Dark Horse was very hard to figure out for the normies at the time, especially Star Wars. I mean, like, dude, I can't remember how many times they had the 1 in 15, and people were like, there's no such thing as a 1 in 15. I'm like, yeah, there is. Like, there is. Like, it just was a thing, and like it just wasn't the normal Marvel term, so people didn't understand.
I mean, Dark Horse has always been weird. I mean, they have a 1 in 40 for some things. They have a 1 in 5 for some things. They kind of do whatever they want.
Dark Horse, marches to a beat of its own drummer a lot of the time.
What about the A8? I couldn't believe that people. I tried to explain to people about the AH ones, like the black and white sketches, and like how value they were, and people didn't get it. And I was like, dude, can't tell you. I'm just gonna buy them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So this one is a little bit higher of the two because of the cover. So you're seeing the about 25% a little higher. 150, 140 kind of solidified that range all year long. Again, I think this one goes 100, but I think the cover alone will keep this one up a little bit higher than the other cover. The other one goes 65. This one might go 100. But this cover, if you see it on eBay, you're like, I'll pay $100 for it because it's a cool cover. People love Darth Maul. People love Palpatine. Somebody's going to bid on it because of the cover.
They're going to say there's black on this. there's black on this fucking cover, so
you always say that. Yeah.
There's black on this cover.
It's a hard 9/8.
Hard 9/8. There's black on like almost every fucking cover. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, hey, there's black. Like, they don't take a fucking black light to look for the fucking marks anyways on it. Or like, more. Anyways, nothing.
Yeah.
Comic collecting is an odd game, man. Like,
it is.
Yeah,
it is
just some of the shit you hear is just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
It's why I don't do much selling of comics anymore, because man, people, they make the weirdest stuff up that you can ever do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have somebody come in and they'll look at, oh, this is the one that does this, and it's got this kind of marking. I'm like, I don't care. Just what do you give me for it? Like,
there used to be a guy at one of the LCSs I went to, and it was after COVID, like, or during it. You could tell he was thinking he was going to be a millionaire. So, but he would go through every book and then take it and then do like this. And I'm like, what the fuck?
What?
Like, what are you doing? And he'd go like this, and then he had a Stortfolio, and then he put it on a Stortfolio and then pick another one up and do it too. And I'm just like, well, you're fucking up like the book while you're doing whatever your check is. And then, yeah,
it's got like, now the spine is like completely color. Ward, he's tearing it over
for a book, and you're fucking rooting it anyway, And then when you're like, wait a minute, who the fuck would have graded a 9.2 book that came out last week? And I'm like, I know the guy. I fucking 100% know that guy. I mean, I don't know that it might not be the guy that I know, but I know that guy. I know the guy. I've seen him before. So,
yeah. No, this one was.
Ooh, you grabbed it last July.
Oh, nice. July. I mean, 55 is okay. I think now you probably can get this thing for 40, pretty regularly.
I think you get it less than that.
Yeah, probably 30 to 40.
This is probably one that they have at like $50 and it's half off.
Yeah.
But last July prices were much different than they are now, and so 55 last July was a pretty good deal. But unfortunately, we aren't in last July. So yeah, we got one more to look at today. Looking at the big book, Clone Wars 1. This is the Dark Horse 100 variant. This was limited to 1,000 copies. This was the first Ahsoka, first Rex. You got the Dave Filoni cover for this one. I'll be interested to hear what your thoughts on this one, because I kind of got my own thoughts on this one as I was doing some research. During the pandemic, this one hit 16,000.
Jesus.
16,000, a 12,500, a 12,500.
See, that March had to be the end.
Before the pandemic, the all-time high. There was other ones after that and before that were lower. 1,050.
Yeah. Dude, this book, I know for a fact. I mean, I know you're putting that number as 1,050, but I'm telling you, this book raw in 9.8 condition, where I know people who submitted and got 9.8s for it. They were buying this book for anywhere from 35 to sub 100 in the month previous leading up to this, in that February coming up. I know somebody who bought one in February for $35 subject, got a 9.8 out of it. Oof. There was people that when it got to $85, which was just around this time in March, right before the pandemic, I was with somebody when they said, yeah, 85 is just too much for this fucking book, and turned around on it.
Man. Then they hated themselves 1 year later.
It wasn't even, it was months later.
Yeah.
It went from this book went from like fucking.
There was like 8,000 in 2020, but 2021 is when it went that 10,000 plus range.
Yeah.
It's crazy. 16,000 was one sale, but
yeah, but I'm saying in 2020, like it was going like, though, even when it hit 1,000, they're like, oh, well, that's all right. This is bullshit. Because there was a couple of sales that started to come back down, but then it got fucking. I can't remember what it was, but was it 6-7K some shit in 2020? Yeah.
What 2020? I don't remember. I have to go back. I have the numbers.
It got expensive.
But though I'm pretty sure that those top two sales in July, they were the same day. I'm pretty sure the same person bought both those sales.
Yeah, probably. Somebody
was like, I'm going to buy two of these. I'm paying just market price for the next two, 12.5, 1,600. Bought two of them. Man, that person.
Well, you got to remember, 2021 was the year that a lot of people were saying it doesn't matter how much you spend because it just keeps going up. It'll never go down. And which was the biggest bullshit. If you've ever heard anybody say that, you should go back to the tapes, guys. Anybody who ever said that, make sure you call them out on it. Feel free. I mean, like, that's just the dumbest shit I ever heard, man. And I'm not trying to do victory laps here, but like, so much heat I got in 2021 when I was like, guys, that's not how comics work. And like, man, people got stuck with bags. People got stuck holding a shit bag, and I don't know, man. Like, that sucks. It sucks. I hope the guy that did the 1250 that bought 2 of those, I think I know who it is, couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. So
that sucks.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. You make your bed, you sit.
It still sucks. It sucks because people were just feeding him lies.
Well, I mean, that person was one of them that was doing it. So like, it doesn't suck. Like, I'm good with it. So,
yeah. Oh, so where are we at now? After Ahsoka, the highs off this thing, eyeballs are starting to come off this thing. Still memorable cover. Everybody's gonna know this one. Last sale was 3,500.
All right, 35. Yeah.
Last week.
Which, by the way, it was criminally undervalued. Criminally undervalued. Don't get it wrong. Like, it really was. Like, out of Star Wars books. I mean, you gotta think it's a floaty cover. It's number one. The effect of it, this was actually a limited book that was proven to be limited. And like, it was just at the time, just it should have never been a sub 1,000. Never. But it was. So
where are we going on this one?
What do you need?
Where do you think how low will this one go?
Doesn't matter. That's the question, though. Like, I'm not saying it should be a $4,000 book, but it definitely shouldn't be it shouldn't be $100. You know what I mean?
No. But if you're thinking about buying it and you're trying to like think about what the buy price is.
For what, resale or to own?
Either. Right?
$650.
You think it can go down to $650 for
No, I think that's where the right price for this book is $650. Do I think it's going to go down to $650? No.
That means the other one's probably at $250. A regular 9.8.
I agree.
Yeah, $250 or less actually for the regular cover. Yes.
I agree with the $650 on at least this one. The regular probably $2.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll ever go anywhere near that.
I think we have a better shot of the regular cover going around $2 than we do of this going to $650. But like, I mean, that's where I
don't. To me, like, if I was going to look at this book, I think it could go to 1,800. I'll be surprised if it goes below 1,800.
Well, I think this is what I'm going to. You might be right, but it has nothing to do with what the value of the book should be. It has to do with like over the time till somebody finally gets there with inflation. What's this book going to be worth in 6 years when $1,800 is today's version of $900? Which, yeah, I get that. You know what I mean? Like, okay, do I think that this book is overpriced at this point? Yeah, I think at $3,500 it's overpriced. I think it's overpriced, and I think, as you can see, when you're having almost 1,000, the next sale, it's dropping by about $1,000. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's not too far off to say the next person goes, you know what? $2,500 sounds like a real reasonable number for this book, doesn't it?
Yeah.
25 seems reasonable, right? Okay.
It does.
Then the next book sells for $2,500.
Yeah.
And now does $650, $1,000 seem so far off from $2,500? Because that doesn't seem that far off.
Yeah.
And TMNT makes a good point in the chat too.
It always has the Dave Filoni cover for it. That will always be a big piece of it.
Yeah, but it ain't the only Dave Filoni cover. And go try to sell, what is it, 2 or 3? They don't sell for shit.
Dave Filoni cover.
Not his first art ever. Go check out G-Force.
I get that, but first cover.
For
people that like that thing, it's a better Ahsoka cover. I
hear what you're saying.
I don't.
But I also hear what TMNT saying.
For that
I think everybody's Ahsoka love. I mean, you already seen the Ahsoka. All these like, I love Ahsoka, best character ever, is already starting to tamper down.
Oh yeah, for sure.
She's not the hotness of the week anymore. So like, yeah.
So who would you consider new hotness for Star Wars anyway? Like,
probably. I mean, she is that her. If they ever did anything with Afra, probably
Nubs.
Afra.
Nubs is the new hotness for Star Wars.
Nubs, not new hotness for Star Wars.
Nubs. There's only one right answer.
I would ask what you were. I would ask what you were on, but I think that would be inappropriate at this point.
I do think. I'll be honest. If you look at like actual, like if you take comic books out of it, because I don't want to say it like that. So non-traditional comic book Star Wars fans, like not people like us that consume everything, or people like us in the chat and us that just consume comic books. But overall, Star Wars, the new hotness is the High Republic.
Yeah.
That's the answer. The answer is the High Republic. That is the shiny thing. That's a shiny beacon on the hill. Maybe not so much phase 2, but phase 1 and phase 3 are like phase 3. You can see it with the result of what's selling. It's hitting. Go check out the chat boards. Like they are extremely happy with phase 3. Star Wars fans are. And these are non-traditional Star Wars fans. These aren't guys that we know that are going into chat groups under sub names, and we know who they are because they're spilling the same stuff that they're saying other places.
Yeah, names we will not name at this time.
Yeah. BK and the Hot Rod Kids.
So back to this question. Do we think the market will pick up mid-2024?
So this is what I'll always say. We do a lot of times where we go on to eBay and we look at high sales or last sales or average sales. I try to include low sales. Hold on. You open the champs? Whoa. Don't be talking yeah. All right. But what I'm saying is, what the fuck was I saying? Oh yeah. Reality of sales, right? Like Wayseeker knows this too, because he's been selling more, but like the reality of the market has not been bad for some of us. Like it hasn't. Like this has not been a bad this hasn't been a bad year for me and a bunch of my friends. It hasn't. Yeah. You just have to know where and when to buy and what you're going to buy.
Right.
As far as a bounce back, this is better. Like it has previous to the last month and a quarter.
Happy New Year.
Hey.
Previous to the last, I'll be up in a minute. Previous to the last quarter, I would say that third quarter was stronger than 2018. We literally had this debate. Like we're at a con and I'm pulling up old data of what we've recorded and saying, listen, look at the profit margins here. We are having a better quarter preceding into that quarter than we were in 2018 and 2019. You're seeing things, I guess when the question is it going to be a better market? I think stabilization of the market is probably the best type of market we can have. So like no more of this people talking shit. Like we've seen a lot of people now, they just want to do drama shit, which is good. Let them do it, man. Like I'm all for it. You want to talk about who's dating who was going to show up to a con but didn't show up to a con, who's blanking who out there, what comics artists got like dirt under their fingernails. I don't give a shit. That actually doesn't affect the market at all. So I'm glad that a lot of people that don't know shit about comics are starting to do that because that is their lane. That's where they should fucking be. And I'm not saying fucking like in a bad way. That's good for them. But when we're looking at the actual market, you're starting to see stabilization, right? You're seeing books that were you could see overcorrection, Wayseeker, but like when you see the 1 in 100 selling, the great ones are selling for where we projected them to be selling for. Like when you can start projecting prices from using data and actually like common fucking sense, that seems like a stable market, right?
So it'll be interesting. So next week we'll review the 10 keys, right? And so we'll see how they did. I think they're going to be a massive.
I'll always be the first. I'll always be the first, BK. What's that?
I think the 10 keys are going to take a massive hit this last quarter.
Right.
I don't think I understand what you're saying. I think there's some stabilization happening in some of the variant markets, the 1 in 100 markets. I still think your key books
period
are on are starting to hit that free fall. I think there was a stabilization. Fourth quarter was not good, I don't think, for those key books, for where the prices were. And I still think it's got some more room to go. Do I think they're in the overcorrection part? Yes. But I think the thing about Star Wars, and this is where the Star Wars is a little bit different than the rest of the comic market is, we're talking about a niche market. I kind of, when I used to do some stock trading, and I was really interested in microcaps, right? The very small companies out there that fall under the radar because they're too small.
Yeah.
One of the things about microcaps is, even if it's a good company, even if it's a good book, often, because it is in such a niche market, it doesn't go up unless it hits the right, the right list.
Right. Gets to the right line. Yeah. Somebody speaks to it. That's what we were saying. That was the oversaturation part I was talking about.
A little bit different than I think investing, because it is such a niche market. So even if there isn't, an overcorrection in Star Wars, it can still overcorrect even further, because unless you have something prop it up, there might not be enough money coming into the market with enough. There might be still a lot more people trying to get out of the market than coming into it. And I still think you're going to be seeing more sellers than buyers for a while, which will hurt the Star Wars market in 2024.
So here's two things you have to realize. Last year, there was 3 books that I bought, and I told you guys the price roughly of those books, and you guys made fun of me saying I was ripping off dealers. But those were actual prices of what the books were selling. So for me, like, that's available. Like, if you are in the streets, you can get books for these prices. And by the way, the prices that I bought them for, I still could sell at a 10% plus markup every single time.
Sure.
To this date, even when there's a slow period. But what I'm saying,
we're finding deals. I can find deals all the time too.
But that's how this market's always worked. But wait, that's what I'm explaining to you. That's how the market's always worked. You always have to find deals on it. So is it going to, like the biggest lie everybody told was that it was easy, you could do this all the time, blah blah blah. Yeah, but then they make fun of you when you're the guy that's at like when Thade says it, and he doesn't understand when I say, like, that's my con, like, it is, like, you know what I mean? Like, because I've grinded there for so many years, I'm like a little rat that everybody, then grew up, and everybody knows there. So, like, it is, like, but that's the type of stuff where, and even to me, it's not easy. Like, it seems easy, but it's not. Like, you have to, if you want to make money in this, it's work. Well, you have to pack shit up. You have to go and you have to know those things.
I've worked shops. I've worked, I've done the con circuit back in the 90s, late 80s, 90s, all of that. And you see it ebb and flow.
Yeah,
and
it does.
That's the one like solid thing that you can say about comic books and the market for comic books, niche or whatever. It ebbs and flows.
It does.
Have to be in an ebb right now.
The economic factors make a big difference in this.
The economic does too.
I mean, inflation rates are going to start coming down. That's absolutely.
They actually are. Yeah. I hope you guys bought your CDs the last round because
I'm doing it now before it comes down.
Yeah.
I would do it.
I would. Next 3 hours. Buy your 3s and 7s. Yeah. Right now.
But whatever, they're going to start coming down. But it's still going to take a while before people have confidence to come back into niche markets. I really do believe it. I think if
Steve, this is where I differ from you. Oh, this is where if I could, Wayseeker, the amount of people like Star Wars, excuse me, Chimp, Bubbles, everything. But here it was. Literally, Star Wars was. Here's the biggest secret about Dark Side and why it's a show. Star Wars, although I thoroughly enjoy it and I'm an enormous fan, that wasn't the basis of what I like. My money was made in Silver Age flipping. Like, that's what it was. But nobody knew Star Wars comics back there. So me just knowing Star Wars comics created Dark. Like, that's legitimately what happened. Like, nobody knew it. So when you see this and you're like, well, blah, 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 there was 0 people in the Star Wars market. It was not even niche. It was minuscule. We're looking at like, hey, look, I know that these books from Marvel, I'm buying whole things of it because I think I can squeak out buying a whole run of old school Marvel for $120. I can probably turn that 3 times over by selling it out in reading form, selling it out, whatever. I can get the Dark Horse stuff because they had this pallet sale where you got tons of it, and I can drop those for $2 a book instead of $1 a book, and we can rock and roll with that, right? That's not the case, and that's never going to be the case anymore. Like when you're looking now at some of these people, the one good thing about like all the pumping and dumping that happened with Star Wars is it also turned people in that or Star Wars fans into realizing that there's a comic book market, and God, it's pretty cool. Like these stories Thade was talking about, all those Siths, yeah, they're crazy and wild as shit, but it's also fucking real fun, bro. Like the stories are fucking fun. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And then you add in like there's some great artists before they have done it and everything else. That's where I'm saying like, yeah, sure. There's going to be people who can't afford that eventually are going to have to move out of their parents' basement, right? Like, or maybe not. You could just be licking toads. I don't know. But like
BK's never moving.
Yeah, he's never. But what I'm saying is like
don't do Toad, man. Don't do Toad. No Toad.
Dude, hey, BK, you can say what you want, but go ask Comic Man Andy, bro. Like he's always honest about it. But here's what I'm going to tell you. Here's what I'm going to tell you about it, right? Like we're never losing those people. Like the Comic Man Andy's, who's a huge fan of Star Wars, right? Like huge fan. He'll buy 5 copies. Like we're not losing that guy, right? And he's been there, but like now there's 10 Comic Man Andys. There's not Comic Man Andy, the guy we all know, our friend, Comic Man Andy, super fan. But now there's 10 Comic Man Andys. There didn't used to be in 2018 10 Comic Man Andys. There was one. His name was Andy. That was him.
Hey,
huh?
Hey, Frankie. I just saying, Frankie.
Hey, Frankie, what's up? So now when you say like that the market's going to, yes, we're going to get an influx of books that people who weren't vested are always going to get rid of. But the amount of people who are vested are going to stay there. There's some people who just need to change their name from Darth this and that to just like go back to like never really gave a shit about Star Wars, right? And we're going to see that happen. But Darth Rubin's always going to be Darth Rubasnaki, whatever the hell he is. He's going to be Darth Ragnarokin. Darth, what's your name again? Darth Ramaraga, whatever. He's always going to be that Darth. And not only is he going to be that Darth, but we have another Darth after him, right? We have somebody else who's like, oh man, this actually is cool. Like that's the good part about it. So when you look at it, you've already seen a massive dump.
Yeah, I agree with you. Here's the problem to me. Is COVID just threw in the graded numbers, the number of comics, they're 9/8, like they just went through the roof.
Right, agreed.
Because everybody thought everything was going to be worth something. So
right.
They threw in, like, maybe Tales 24 had 39/8, and now it has 189/8 because
right.
It's going to take a whole heck of a lot more people to even that out.
I don't think when you look at the numbers in some of these comic or in some of these groups, these chat groups that are not comic related, I don't think it is. I think like your collectors like Dom, I mean, Dom is in a different situation, but like there are people like him that instead of Pops, they figured out comics. And although they might not, they want to be a completionist. All right. That's where we're going to collect some of the market here with the 90. And all the drama about like who, like, oh, this grading company, that grading. Look, man, it doesn't amount to a hill of fucking beans. It's the same thing as CBCS was losing fucking books going over to Texas years ago. People don't even fucking know that. Like, and it wasn't too long ago. It was like 4 years ago.
They switched the company and they lost all those books. Yeah.
Lost all those fucking books, dude. And that was right after they fucked it up before. And by the way,
they lost several thousand books in that move.
Yeah. 1,000 books is what we think. They probably lost more. And that,
I said several thousand. I said several.
By the way, the reason why they sold and lost those all books is because before that, they literally created a case that you could open like a fucking, like one of those spreadable butter cans, put whatever the fuck you wanted and pull it out and fucking go. Like, that's why they fucking did the Beckett thing. So, like, none of that shit matters. Like, having more fan base matters. And I think now, with High Republic bringing in more and having dead periods, you'll see the spikes are correlating with that. I never had people go like, yo, dude, like how many people, Wayseeker, have come to you and said, hey, can you figure out the price of what this book's going to be? Where do you think this book's at now? Like the amount of people who are intelligent enough to ask the right questions, even on modern books coming through, But then figuring out the other books on it, like they understand now. They set themselves what they believe the market should hold it, and that market is above dollar bin shit. It's above. It's above. Right. You have to go through some of the trash though. We're not going to have this first shit. It's going to go back. So like when we're seeing this, like I hope you made your money in 2001. I did, but I expected it to go back to pre-2019 levels. And right now, we're just a little bit higher than pre-2019 levels, which in my opinion, I mean, there's some books like obviously the Filoni book we just talked about, but look at the other 3 books we covered. All those are back to 2019.
Yeah,
right.
Those are there or below it, some of them. Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like you're going to still have to be picky and choosy, but there's always going to be a flavor of the day. There always has been. Right. So like, I mean, we're not doing your index of what was hot a year ago, of course, isn't exactly how indexes work, because as soon as they start getting low, they get rid of that one and then grab another uptick book, which we didn't do in that thing. So we're not running a true index. God, we're getting too technical on this shit, but we're not running a true index on the market, right? But if you did want to,
I'm not sure you're getting anything above it. I really don't. I don't think there's anything that's hot
percentage wise. Yeah, I don't know. I mean that we just covered that fucking 1 in 25 that's still selling for double ratio monthly.
This is all.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is an index would have covered the entire market. Like I like what you're doing. I'm not knocking it. Yeah. It's great to see this key thing, but I'm saying if you look at the overall index of the Star Wars market, the stabilization has already started to occur. Right, you're going to have your highs and lows. You're going to have people who are like higher on some books, and there's always going to be books where you remember. But yeah, for people like Keith that need the PC. I think this is really helpful. We've gotten some people some good PC books. That's majority of the conversation we rotate around. Yeah, sneak this one in here. This book I think is going to be low. This one's coming back up. Blah 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 blah. So if you see us saying I
think it's a good time to buy for PC. I just don't think prices are going to rebound in anytime soon. Personally, I
guess here's what I'm saying about rebound. You're saying rebound, and you're talking heights, right?
No, I'm just talking like 4 or 5% year-over-year growth. I don't think we're going to get there. I think it's going to be flat to.
But not every book had a 4 or 5% overall.
On average,
no, that was low. No. You're talking about Silver Age keys. We're having a 2-year like 8% increase on them. Like every 2 years you get 8% out of it. So like modern was not having that. Like it just wasn't. You were getting the flavor of the week that would get you a little bit of a push, but like that's not how the market worked. I mean, it's just not how the market worked. But like now you're seeing, that's what I'm saying. So when you see these markets and you're like, okay, shit, dude, this is like, okay, I can get a 1 in 25, and the shit is a month later selling for, went down to $30 and then popped back up to 50. Yes, that's not an uncommon. That was very uncommon in 2008, 17, 18, 19. But like, that's where I'm saying like, shit. Like I was surprised at that Chewy book, like, or the fucking mystery one. Because that doesn't happen. Like that didn't used to happen. If it went down, that bitch was down. Unless somebody started pushing it up. And I don't know, because I don't watch a lot of YouTubes and I don't read a lot of lists because I don't want our shit to be,
Nobody's pushing anything right now.
But I don't think anybody's pushing that. I think people forgot about Star Wars. So when you see that, like that's what I'm saying is an indicator, like some of this shit isn't bad. That Valance book, who the fuck talked about that 1 in 100?
That one still blows my mind.
Yeah. And I looked at the sellers, I looked at past sales from the sellers, I looked at all. It looks legit, bro. Like I'm not gonna know for sure, but it looks fucking legit.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. I'm the king of pumping and dumping. That's what I always
Yep.
So jump keys with the
Dragon Ball Z. That's Marco right there. Got a huge collection of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z. I mean, I know nothing about it. I wish I did because I know I would be pushing it, but
don't go manga on us, man. Don't go manga on us.
No, it will. It will. No, I'll be all right. It will. I will say this, like, oh, dude, you know what? Like back in 2019, because the comic book market was getting soft. I tried to talk to everybody who liked it and got to try to figure it out. I rather lick fucking paint off a wall. Yeah, go through that shit again, dude. No, I
It's a great. I mean, there's just so much of it. It's so overwhelming.
You talk to people and they want to tell you the fucking storylines on there, and you're just like, no, bro. Like, that's not what I'm asking you. Yeah.
I'm good.
I'm just trying to make some money. I don't care about it.
I don't give a shit about any of that. Well, what you have to do is first read this, and then you can read this. I said, I don't want to read any of that. Is it anything? Well, this is the best ever. Yeah, but is it worth fucking anything? Yeah, it's worth a lot, like $5. I'm like, thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. I'm gonna move on now.
Hey, BK, let me ask you a question, roughly, because I could probably look up the answer. What episode do you think this is of Tales from the Dark Side, and how many years do you think I've been doing this show? Just give a rough guess. I would give away a prize, but I'm not mailing it to your mom's house. So,
oh.
All right. We got a game to play, and then Marcos, he wants to.
I do have to get going. Oh yeah, I do. I gotta go now. All right, we'll do it real quickly because I put them up there. Here we go, guys. Number 1 is Jabba's payroll. This came off of. We got some list now. We have a different list because we came out of. Didn't it come out? I have a book. Oh, Pete mailed me that book. So one of these books has these lists, so we're gonna start doing it. We also the book that they mentioned earlier. We're gonna do the High Republic list off of that book. This book is Jabba's payroll. It kind of is like everybody, excluding the people we did from Jabba's palace the other day. You get to pick 3 and rank them in any 3 order. Your top 3 going 3 to 1. Characters are Bib.
Marco's number 1 is.
No, you don't, because it's not Max Rebo. It's actually just the band. It's Max Rebo's band without Max Rebo. So Greedo, Crumb. Elephant Man is the guy on the way. I'm looking at it. It's on the right.
I love Evant Mon. Mon.
Yeah, or Elephant Man.
Isn't it Evant Mon, not Elephant Man? It's Evant Mon.
It's the same guy.
Right?
Yeah, it's Evant Mon. It is Evant Mon. Yeah, but they gave him a big smile like an elephant. So,
first appearance, Star Wars number 1, 1998. Love that book.
This is where I get messed up. So Reyes is the guy pointing his finger up. No, he's the guy with 3 eyes. Three eyes.
The Grand. 3 eyes.
Yeah. Jaquel is.
I don't know who that is.
That's the guy with the teeth.
That's the tough dude up there. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy with the teeth. Melakala.
Melakali. Yeah.
Okay, that's why I show those. So Tesk, and then the band of Max Rebo, but you do not get Max Rebo. So it's like
Tesk is the squid guy here, right?
Oh, Tesk is a squid guy. Okay, I thought I gave pictures of everybody I didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh, you know who Malachi is? That's actually the Beastmaster. That's the guy who runs the
Rancor Keeper. Rancor Keeper. I like the one that cried when the Rancor died.
Yes.
Yeah, right. This is a bad list. This is hard. This is garbage. We're talking about we're sipping through the garbage trash collector here for top 3.
Okay, so so my top 3.
Go 3 first. Yeah.
My top 3 would be Salacious Crumb for 3.
Okay.
Greedo for 2. And Evant Mon for number 1 because he was Jabba's best friend.
Yeah, it's also like a bounty hunter kind of.
Yeah.
Scummy. I think that's right. I think that's an easy one. Evant Mon is easily my 1. There's no doubt about it. After that, I hate Greedo. I can't put Greedo in my top 3. So I think I'm going Crumb 2, Malakili 3. And that's garbage.
So I am going the band because of smooth. Like I like look, that's number 3, the band. Number 2, I have to go with Greedo because he shot second, and I hate him, and he just gives me this emotion that I hate him. So like he's like BK's hate for me is non-comparable to my hate for Greedo. So he gets number 2. Number 1 overall is Reese, and the only reason is because I've told this story before, but my dad sometimes would give he would buy stuff at like Kmart and the Blue Light Special, like the clearance stuff, and he wouldn't realize sometimes for Christmas what he was buying. So then sometimes we would get second and tri-dairy discs, like the same thing a couple times. So one Christmas I got him, and then I got him again for another Christmas, I think. So that's my number 1 overall. Hold on. I have an emergency message I have to read.
All right.
Okay. Fair enough. Please do that. Yes.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
Next one.
Yep. What do we got here? Hold on. We got Wookiee Fanatic has Crumb, Band, and Greedo. Only because Han shot his ass first. He did, man. He did.
I did, but
and I do have just one more thing to say about that list. My overall on top of everything, and this is beyond the 3, is Cy Snoodles. Because she rocked it on stage, man. The chick with the long.
She's part of the band.
Yeah. Well, no, she's the lead singer of the band.
Yeah, but she counts in members that aren't Max Rebo. That's why I put her in there. Her and Cool. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, Droopy McCool.
Droopy McCool.
This one's tough too.
Yeah,
Sith or dark side characters. Well, none of are really Sith.
Yeah,
kind of like your.
It's what the official Star Wars guidebook that Pete gave me says. So I cannot argue with it.
It's a dumb book.
Yes,
we have to pick our top 3
from Pete. Yes.
Yeah.
So here it is. And I had to kind of the list is fucking interesting. The Hutts, the Pikes, FNS Marauders, which is the group that she rolls with, including herself.
They're not even dark side. They're not even Sith. They're like
they're actually good guys. Yeah. Yep.
I can't even take that one in consideration.
No. This is shit. This shouldn't have been prequel. Is Sith? I didn't change the title. This is supposed to be Star Wars gangs. This is considered gangs. Sorry, my bad. Should change that.
Gangs. This. I'm like,
which by the way, they said the Pikes, and I know there's a lot that are missing, but they just said the Pikes. They didn't say the rest. So I think these are probably ones that made it to. Well, no, because Crimson, live action.
On, but you should
live action. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Weird. You should definitely have like.
It's what the group is. I mean, it's what it says in the book.
You should have Zizor's people in here. Would easily make top 3.
Yeah, but they didn't. So they had. Yeah, because I think it's only live action. They didn't say that, but it just said Star Wars gangs. It was called Star Wars gangs. So it's the Hutts, the Pikes, FNS's Marauders, which is that's a weird gang. The Death Gang, the Death Gang was the one that's got what's his name from the comic books in it. The guy that used to be under the Hutts. Yeah. They actually had that other gang that showed up too on Han's thing, and I was like, nobody knows any of these fucking characters, so we're not gonna.
I can't.
Yeah, whatever.
Balatik, is that the Death Gang?
No. It's not Balatik. It's
Balatik was the other one.
Yeah, Balatik was the other one. Yeah.
Okay,
it was the guy who looks like he was Korean.
Yeah.
And he ended up showing up in Bounty Hunters one time. Crimson Dawn, White Worm, and then Kajula Koob, which okay. Yeah. And they didn't put fucking like this. Sorry, they didn't put in like. I mean, is it technically like what's their names? The Knights of Ren gang? Yeah, I don't know why that wasn't there.
That'd be better.
All right, BK.
Oh man,
yeah, this list sucks. But this was supposed to be done last week, where we had a ton of content, and then I just got lazy. Well, I really just been partying for 3 days straight. So,
well, it's also better to do it live. Hutts are 1. Crimson Dawn is 2. Man, the third one. After Boba Fett, you can't go with the Pikes. You just can't. Like that just ruined the Pikes. So I guess of the 3, you're going Impy's Nest, Marauders for me.
What do you got, Thade?
Yeah. Okay, so for me, it's going to be number 3 would be the White Worms.
Okay.
2 would be the Hutts, and 1 would be Crimson Dawn.
Crimson Dawn sucks.
Especially now that you know that Maul wasn't even in charge of
Crimson
Dawn. Maul was in charge of Maul. So like every syndicate, Maul was in charge of.
Yeah, which I thought this was originally gonna be the syndicate list, and then I kept going with it. I was like, this is why they call it the games. It says syndicates. All right, we might actually get a syndicate. BK actually put in, thank you, BK. Hey, BK, all the joking aside, Happy New Year's, bud. You have a good one, all right? Number 1 for him is Crimson Dawn. Number 2 is the Hutts. Number 3 is the Pikes. I actually have to go with, now after knowing all the backstories and everything else, White Worms is number 3, especially just because they are badasses. And it was close between them and FNS as far as games go. The Pikes are number 2. And of course, I love I want more Hutt stories, dude. I don't know. Can you guys name a time where they did the Hutt stories wrong?
No.
Like the Jabba Palace stories are right. Like they show up. Like even when they did Clone Wars and they started bringing out Stinky.
Probably episode 1. That's about it. With the.
Do you guys remember
like watching over the race and like all that stuff?
Yeah, but they ended up taking her and putting her into Clone Wars, and it was great.
Yeah, that they made it up for it, but episode 1 was stupid.
Are you talking about Gardula?
Gardula
the Hutt.
Yeah.
Dude, do you guys remember Beldorion?
Which one's that?
The Hutt Jedi.
Yes, the Hutt Jedi.
Dude, he was less of a Hutt, more of a serpent with a lightsaber.
Yeah,
the way he was described was like he was almost snake-like.
Oh, there you go, Wookiee. Yes,
I agree with that list. 100%.
Black Sun was Zizor's people, right?
Yeah, the Pauline. Yeah.
But this was supposed to be gangs, not syndicates.
But the Pikes are the same thing.
I don't look, man. I'm just telling you.
Pete's book is trash. You should sit back to him. I know you're.
Well, that's why I think he bought. First off, don't call gifts trash. That's not nice. Number 2, I mean, number 2, it did still have a clearance sticker from Ollie's on it. So I mean, take that for what it's worth. But yeah, don't call. Look, just because you didn't get a gift doesn't mean you call my gifts trash.
Don't call your gifts trash. I don't need it. Doesn't have.
Where is that
Crimson,
book?
It doesn't have Black Sun. Come on. Now.
I might have actually already lost that book at this point. All right, you guys can stay on
Death Gang. Come on now.
Well, yeah, I know.
Wabi Death Gang on a list. And then I don't even know how you pronounce Kenji Club, whatever.
Or maybe, no, wait, Kenji Club might be. You might be right because Kenji Club might be the other one that has.
I think Politique is on the Guavian Death Gang. I think so.
I think you might be right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look it up right now.
I can't believe I pulled Politique out of thin air, though. I'm pretty impressed with myself.
Dude, Wayseeker, yeah.
You're right. Kenji Keep was. No, hold on. Who was the leader of it? I'm pulling it up right now. Yeah, all right, you're right. I think you might be right.
Just remember this. Clip it. I might be right for once.
You might. Nope, you're wrong because Politique is the one. Politique, I think, is the game that you're talking about, right?
I thought Politique was in the Guavian Death Gang, but maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe he is. Hold on. I'm on StarWars.com right now. You're right. He was.
Yeah, he's Guavian Death Gang leader. Yay! Look at that.
Yeah.
Pulled it out.
There it is. Good job. Nobody can. To explain
Ruben thinks those are the best movies ever. Ruben cares. I'm catering
for those people who don't know what we're talking about right now. During the sequels, was it in Force Awakens or was it the second one?
Awakens. It was with
in Force Awakens. There was 2 gangs that tried to get Han on the barter ship that he was. Remember those characters that had like succubuses and they had the big long things and they were eating people? There's 2 gangs he ran into. One of the gangs was the Guavian Death Gang that had the white dude with all the guys with the red and black helmets. For some reason, that gang was supposed to all wear red and black helmets except for the leader, who he just named, which was Ballsack. Did not. And Taos Louch, who has been in those Bounty Hunter comics, ran the other gang, which was the Kenji Club gang. And yeah, neither one really matters. But apparently, see, that's why. Yeah, I know you almost got it right. Okay, but that's where I think this sucks. But we'll get better lists next time. Remember, this was supposed to be these 2 were supposed to be done during our tape segment, so you guys wouldn't have to suffer through this. Oh my god,
man.
Constable Zuvio.
Yeah. Hey, when he figures out, when he actually watches an episode of Jeopardy to figure out how that works, we'll call him. I don't know, man. I thought everybody knew how Jeopardy worked. Ballsack Ian. That's who he is. Ballsack Ian. All right, guys. Well, you guys can stay. I'm gonna go say.
We're out of here.
We're out of here. All right, well, I hope everybody has a happy New Year's. I was going to contact everybody, see after New Year's if we wanted to do like a members only thing, but I don't even think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to go finish off this bottle of what seems to be pretty decent champagne. Nice little brute, and call it a day. So I guess that's it. Bye, everybody. Thank you very much. We will see you.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. We'll have
everybody be safe with your celebrations. Let's make it to next year. Let's not do anything stupid tonight.
If they're watching this show, I highly doubt they're doing anything stupid right now. Besides watching the show.
Let's spend a New Year's Eve with us.
Yeah, that's probably the dumbest thing they're going to do. All right, hey guys, have a good one. Happy New Year's. Thank you, everybody, again. We really do appreciate it. I hope you all had a good year. We'll see you next year.
Oh, dear God. Okay.
All right, take it easy.